I'd say the movie's a hit, boys and girls.
Oh, yeah.
Going the frig on, fellas?
We just seen It last night. What would you call it? It 2017?
Well, how about this? We'll get into we'll call it later in the video.
Yeah.
So there we go. For now, we'll call it It.
So, where should we even start? Do we even say
Well,
the
basically,
story? Most people
I'll
already kind of know the story, right?
Put it right. I'll say a few things. The camera work, the directing, the actors, the kids,
the score,
everything was
like the soundtrack.
perfect.
I loved the soundtrack.
This movie, it didn't really break any ground for the horror itself, but it is a very good direction in what happens whenever you get a director that actually is committed to like
the source material.
Yeah, who like don't just make a movie to make money.
And it's not like Michael Bay, like the CGI is not overboard. Like there is CGI, there is a bit of it, but it works for what it is.
Yes, exactly.
The chemistry between all the kids in it, I loved it.
As awesome. I said, yeah, all the kids. I know you. We both loved him. He loved Richie.
Oh, Richie was probably my favorite character.
He was funny.
Yeah. But I mean, that's who he's supposed to be. Richie was funny in the original movie. It's just even in the original movie, it was Seth Green that played him, and it's this new kid from Stranger Things. I forget his name, but I thought this new kid was funnier than Seth Green.
I thought he was, and him and Will or Bill, what's his name? Eddie. Yeah, Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie was
Eddie
good.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, Eddie was good. I don't really want to talk about it right yet because I don't want to get into spoilers yet. Overall, as a horror movie, it was awesome. It had some jump scares, but they weren't like overdone.
Yeah,
they were like jump scares that worked. There was a jump scare too that I was like, okay, that was for the sake of a jump scare, but it got a lot of people in the audience, and it was cool to see from...
Well, yeah, I told him, I was like, did you notice that every time you see a jump scare
it's like a wave. Did you ever go like somewhere where there's a huge crowd and they do the wave? That's what it's like. Everyone just kind of...
it was funny.
So good. Actually, it was so scary at a certain point, I noticed. The clown, like Pennywise, popped up. It was popping up gradually. I don't want to get into details, but anyway, like you could kind of tell when it was going to happen. About the third or fourth time that he popped up, there was like 3 or 4 girls that I seen like not beside each other. They were like all throughout the theater. They kind of got up at the same time and left. I was like, oh shit, too much for them.
Oh no. And to say a little like non-spoiler stuff about Pennywise, the actor who did him,
Bill Skarsgård, I believe his name is. He was.
I couldn't have asked for a better choice.
Like I was telling him earlier, it was almost like he was born to play this role.
It seems like it's one of those moments. It seems like it's a J.K. Simmons, friggin' Spider-Man situation. He is Pennywise.
Now, what would I rate the movie before we get into spoilers?
On a horror scale, and on like, if you compare it to horror movies, I'm gonna give this no less than a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, like it is a solid, even story, everything. There was a couple things I would have done differently, but I can't even get into that to getting into spoilers. So I agree. 9.5. I'd almost go 10 out of 10.
If I were to give it 10 out of 10, I would be saying it is flawless. And there's a few problems.
Yeah, that's why I'd go, because I was gonna give it a 10 out of 10 because I loved it. Like
I craved it, man. I couldn't.
But there's just a couple things I would have done differently, and it's nothing crazy, and maybe they'll redeem themselves because. I mean, everyone knows what's coming. But, 9.5 out of 10. We're going to get into spoilers now so we can talk about some of this stuff. First off, I guess... Well, spoilers, 1, 2, 3, go. First off, Georgie's death was actually in it, and that's something we didn't get to see in the original
Yeah,
movie.
I was not
my
expecting that.
God.
He told me that that's the scene that he saw. And
I didn't see the whole scene.
That's what like whenever, like, basically, like, in the old one, whenever Tim Curry, whatever, is, like, grabs the boat, he starts hollering, and, like, the gross teeth or whatever, the scary
like,
Pennywise teeth come out.
Yeah.
No, in this, like, he literally has, like, a jaw that pushes out, but, like, going up the jaw is, like, more teeth sticking out, and he straight up just bites Georgie's arm
right off, and the kid's, like, screaming and crying, like,
There's
trying to crawl away, and he's
and
bleeding, and then the clown's arm just reaches out of the drain, grabs him, and just pulls him in.
Like, that is frightening imagery right there. I was like, oh, I'm interested to what this movie's gonna give us.
Every time you see Bill Skarsgård in this movie, like Pennywise, anytime you see him in this movie, you're just, as scary as it is, you're just drawn to him. I think it's what they did with his eyes and what he did with his eyes. I guess I looked up after the movie, and he's always looking off in, like, two different directions, and
it's like
it looks
a reverse cross eye.
like, it looks real creepy. And, like, at first I didn't know how to take it, but now that I know that was all him and not CGI at all, like, obviously when his eyes glow yellow, that's CGI. But when he's looking off in two different directions, that is him, and I think that's awesome, and I think that made me appreciate it a little bit more after seeing it. Like, but the CGI on Pennywise and his teeth and just him in general, from, like, the start of the movie to the end of the movie, he turns into so many things. I don't even know what.
I'd say the freakiest thing out of all of them, besides Pennywise himself, was that fucking painting.
There's this kid, I think, was it Stan, the Jewish boy? Was it him that was scared of the painting? I think it was Stan. He's scared of this painting, and, like, the painting falls off the wall, and he goes and puts it back on, and the painting's off the painting, not on the floor, and he's, like, looking around, and out of the shadows, it comes out of the shadows and looks at him, and it looks creepy all in itself. But then it just opens his mouth out of nowhere with fucking, like, razor
with the sketchy ass Pennywise smile. Yeah. And no, it's great.
That's something too we should mention. His like that thing he does with his lip right before he smiles, the clown. He does this movement with his lip, and it's right before his smile, and it just makes it so much more creepier.
Beverly was great. I thought the actress who played her was great, and that's another thing I'd like to say too. I am really, really, really disgusted with the fact that, like, that's it for the kids.
Like, you almost want to see more of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree 110%.
Like every one of them, the fat kid, the colored guy,
all of them.
Every one of them did.
For their own...
As much as I hated him, that Kevin Bacon looking bastard.
No, I was just gonna say you gotta mention him.
He did good
Henry.
too.
He's talking about Henry. If you didn't know, if you've seen the movie, you know who the hell we're talking about. After the movie, you're just expecting him to fucking break out and dance and Footloose.
Oh no, man! It was good. Bust a move.
I really liked the clown at one point. He convinces Henry, like in the original movie, to take. Gives him his knife back, which he lost, and then starts talking to him through the TV, which was kind of creepy too. I forget what they're saying on the TV, but he's just like, "Kill them all, kill," something like that, wasn't it? But he goes up to his dad and just puts the switchblade to his neck, and his dad kind of wakes up, and then he just kind of click. Kills his dad. I was not expecting that.
Did he not do that in the other one? Or?
He didn't do it in the other one, but I don't know that he didn't do it in the book. 'Cause I read some of the book, but I did not finish it. Like, that's a long novel, and I'm reading so much different stuff right now. But there was that. I thought they could have killed the colored boy, but that's only because Henry killed him in the movie, and I don't really know if that happens in the books. But Pennywise could always come back as Henry. For all we know, Henry could have survived, but I mean, that looked fucking brutal.
It did, but I think, like, that or whatever was just like Henry going to hell or wherever Pennywise's, like, hibernation state.
Well, yeah, maybe he fell down and that's where Pennywise is. Well, we're already getting ahead of one thing though that I know you liked. I loved it though when they're in the house and they're shutting all the doors and they're like locked in all these different rooms and all this. So much stuff happens in this movie that we can't cover it right now. But like when all the doors are getting shut and they're not really that scared, but the kid with the fucking broken arm, Eddie's down there terrified, and he's just about to like eat him basically, and Bev comes out of nowhere and just fucking stabs him through his head, and it looks fucking cool.
They made it look awesome, like how Smile is like moved from like here to like right up here, like, and it's like it's all fucked.
Oh,
it's like
I love that. And then in the fight at the end of the film, Bev tries to do that same move, and Pennywise just looks at her and catches it like, no.
You're not again.
And I really like the deadlights in this compared to the older film, but I mean the older film's 1990, so obviously.
That's the one with the throat, is it?
Whenever it opens its mouth around the end, and who's it got there?
Beverly.
Is it Beverly that it's like
she looks in him and
like looks right in his deadlights,
and like her eyes like go
but
white.
The deadlights are like down this creature's throat, and it looks awesome.
It did look great. Yeah.
Another thing in the final scene, we kind of seen its true form.
We got a little bit of it, yeah. A little.
It's like actually, you know what? I didn't even realize. Well, I mean, I did realize, but like in that whole sequence, the clown is just so focused on scaring them all. It's constantly turning from one thing to another thing. I think that's why. It got beaten by
that was the point of the fight, I think, because the fact that Beverly, they say she wasn't dead because she wasn't afraid.
Yeah. Because
she just had other things
like
that she had to be afraid of.
Yeah, like she was more afraid of her dad than this fucking clown. That's why the clown had to turn itself to her dad to scare her. But whenever it's going at one of them, you can tell, I forget who it is, but it like Pennywise just gets pissed off, and it turns its arms to its true form, I believe, and they're almost like spider legs.
But did you see?
And he's just smashing the ground.
But did
trying
you
see
to get them, the razors on them? Is that what I seen? It looked like there was razors.
I'm sure there was
on the spider legs. I was like, wait, what?
But that was. And what'd you think of that shrine? I thought that was pretty fucking
the
cool.
Dead fella.
Like, no, the shrine, just all the like children's toys all piled up in that.
Freaky.
I thought that was fucking.
How they're all floating.
And I'll let you mention it, but whenever the thing opens, what you thought of that? Pennywise doing his.
Oh no, man! Like just out of nowhere, he's chasing them, and like, it's like, okay, is he gonna get them or what? And like it's just like fire, these weird imagery.
Yeah, the door opens
like,
and it's like
stuff.
hell. It's like hell.
And then it's just him standing there with like a serious face.
Looks like he's just gonna come at them. Just
then he just
smiles.
starts dancing, man. I'm just...
You're not expecting it, and Bev's just kind of like, what the fuck? And he's just dancing. She's just watching. She's like, well, if he's gonna keep dancing, I'm gonna run. And she starts running. The second she starts running, he just fucking lunges at her. Man.
It's like this movie put in a lot of stuff that you would see off screen in the average horror movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I gotta give it props. Like, this movie impressed. Very much.
They could have maybe done the ending a little differently as far as what happened to the clown right when Pennywise dropped. But, we only got about a minute or so left.
And with that being said...
I think we should mention what happened at the start of the theater.
With that being said, though, we... we'll see you guys in It, Chapter 2.
Yes. They say at the end, It, Chapter 1, but that's not how they labeled the movie.
I know that they didn't mark it like that.
Maybe that's how it will be when it comes out on Blu-ray and stuff.
I don't think.
You'll just think it'll be It?
Yeah.
Now, when Part 2 comes out, do you think it'll be It, Chapter 2?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, do you think we can even say that story?
Okay, so we were just sitting there, full-ass theater, like, packed. This kid is walking in, and like just trailers, right? And like, you know, the big boom in the trailers. The kid had a full popcorn, drank, man. He lost like all his popcorn, like boom, and he was like, whoa! Like he jumped like 3 feet,
like
man.
Froze in the air.
The whole theater saw it.
Oh.
What a great way to start it.
We were all just laughing. But anyways, go see the movie, and I hope you enjoy it.